Hi, so this is Taylor with Fruitful Yields. We're at America's Beauty Show, and we're here with Olowo-n'djo
That's
from
right.
Ayeya. So
Yes.
could you tell us a little bit about yourself and your brands?
Yeah, thank you. First of all, I'm happy to be here. It's a good way to get the brand in the public's hands. My name is Olowo-n'djo, as you mentioned, and Ayeya is essentially an organization that is set to do good in the world, and in particular to be able to provide stable jobs for the women back in West Africa, Togo, and Ghana that are making the raw materials or the shea butter that's going to Ayeya product that you see here. But before Ayeya, I was also already in the natural food industry for the last 22 years, where we make personal care products. And so through that, because for those 22 years, the goal was to provide those stable income to reduce poverty. And Ayeya then is created so that we can continue that journey to that. And the reason for this, I come from Togo, which is a small country in West Africa, and grew up in Togo. You can see the level of poverty that exists, and coming to the state, I realized that I myself could contribute in reducing the poverty. So, therefore, IEA's existence is to try to reduce poverty in the communities back home to the cooperative of and using fair trade practices, and then investing in the community for community impact in terms of investing in maternal care, but most importantly, investing into clean water. And we can talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not just what we're doing back in West Africa that matters. It's also providing health and clean product for American consumer as well.
Yes. And can you actually tell us a little bit for people who aren't familiar
Yes.
with your products? Can you tell us what is so special about the
Yes.
Ayeya soap?
Yes, the Ayeya soaps are more than special. And I said they're more than special because when you have a product, the question comes, what is the product? In this case, as I mentioned, having ingredients that are sourced in ethically, that too is very special. Right? Because if the product is good for the end user, it must also be good for those who are making the product. But now, very specifically on the benefit of the product itself. Let's take this for instance. This is a lavender traditional African black soap of Ayeya. The raw ingredient shea butter is done traditionally, where you don't, in some ways, refine the oils, so they keep all their healing properties when you use the traditional method to make the shea butter. And then we take that shea butter and to make into the soap, and we use ash. The ash is more gentler than using sodium hydroxide to react the oils, the shea butter, into making this soap. And we cook it in an open flame. That's what we call it traditional because it uses tradition, you see?
Okay.
And then we press it into the bars. And we add essential oil like lavender. And you can see that what I'm trying to describe here is a whole step by step that's done by hand. And we all can agree when we do something by hand and you don't strip all the healing property on it, it will be good for the end user.
Yes.
But there's another thing that I think is important. What this does is it allows us to also keep our tradition. And I think it's important in the world today where so much tradition is vanishing that we keep some of the tradition for the future generation.
Yes. Oh, beautifully said. And do you mind talking a little bit about Ayeya's purpose of wanting to have a positive impact
Yes.
on the climate?
Yeah. You see, when the highest reason of existence is to reduce poverty. But you cannot reduce poverty when we have our climate in the way that it is right now, right? The climate changes are leading to the ways that we cannot predict the patterns of a rain pattern. When you can predict the rain pattern, it makes it difficult to farm. And now the farm leads to farming. And farming, as you can imagine, is not good. So I think that it is important, given that it stands for reducing poverty, that we also fight the impact, the negative impact of climate change. You see? So what we do by that is that we then make sure that we first pay fair wages and fair prices for the shared nuts. See, if you're paying fair prices for the shared nuts, then it's less likely that people will be cutting the share trees down because they grow wild over all the throughout the savannah. That's one aspect. And after we sell the product, then we use a part of the money. So 15%, 15, or for everything that Ayeya sells coming out of West Africa goes back to West Africa. So a part of that 15% then goes into the nurseries of having trees, baby trees, and we plant baby trees across the northern part of Ghana and Togo. So last year we planted about 30,000 trees, and one track to plant about 100,000 trees. So to summarize it very specifically, what are we doing for the climate? Is in kind of three areas. One, use the recycling packaging that has less impact on the climate. And the second, the product that's inside, make sure that the ingredients that go into that product don't have negative effect on the climate. So using wild, shea trees are wild, so you get the butter from the shea nuts. And the third part that I think is equally important is paying fair wages so that people who engage in collecting the nuts are not destroying the trees if they see all the value that come to it.
Well, thank you. And you mentioned earlier about water quality. Do you mind expanding on that a little bit?
Yeah, that's you see, I grew up going 2, 3, 4, sometimes 10 miles, depending on the time of the season, to go collect the water. People in Togo and Northern Ghana don't have water on faucet like this, so you have to go a long way to get water. So in the communities where the ingredients come from, in this case, the Shea Butter, it only makes sense to reinvest in those communities. And given that the time that allocated to get water is too long, but even more important is that the water is not clean. So what we do, part of that 15% that goes back into the community, is to build what's called clean water wells. And in the water wells that we build is deep water with solar power so that we can pump a community. And each well provides about 800 people with clean water a day. And so we have 17 wells in operation right now. And our goal within 3 years is to reach 2 million with clean water in northern part of Ghana and Togo. It's important too that people can recognize that their purchase, first, it's not destroying the environment, and that it's not destroying humanity. Right? Sometimes we're not careful, our purchase actually can bring more people into poverty. So having fair trade and having organic, and then ensure that a portion of the funds are actually going back to invest in the community forward, right? The future generation.
And with this as well, is it safe for all skin types?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah. So we have a mini product. Our traditional black soap is first for every human. We don't make product for any particular color of a person. It's for everybody. What matters is that it's healthy. It's clean, right? Yes. That's what matters. But it's for and it's definitely something that you can use for everything when it comes to this traditional black soap. You can use it on the hair, you can use it on the face, you can use it for all the body, because that's traditionally that's what we use it for. And the fact that the ingredients are so simple makes it easy to use for those who have sensitive skin.
Yes, and that's me. I have sensitive skin, and I
so
love it.
That'll be yours. So yes, it's for everybody, but we do have different scents, different botanicals. So some we have we have moringa in some of them. Some of them will have ginger. So it depends on what it is that you like as a botanical, but very specific use. But at the end of the day, all of them are good moisturizers and just supposed to even out your skin.
And do you have any new exciting products that you can tell us about? Anything in the works right now?
So you see these are bar traditional black soaps. So we're launching liquid African black soap just in 2 weeks from now. And we're doing also body washes that are made out of there's ginger base. It won't burn your skin. It's quite fine. Then we have whipped shea butters, and those are good, especially in the winter, or good for cuticles. So our whipped shea butter for Ayéya are coming up in a couple of weeks as well. And there's more to come in that. When I see you next time.
Awesome. Okay, more to talk about. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here and letting us interview you.
No, thank you.
We look forward to seeing what you guys come out with next.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome.
We're
so
very
much.
happy to be part of the Food for Heal and grow together so we can serve humanity together.
Yeah, help more people. Exactly. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.